Uh, Welcome back everyone again. So, as I have already explained you the theoretical or physiological basis of the cranial nerves, let's look at the practical examination. Before that, let me give you the names of the cranial nerves. I think I forgot to mention them. So, starting from number 1, right, it is olfactory nerve, right? Number 2 is the optic nerve. Number 3 is the oculomotor nerve. Number 4 is the trochlea. Number 5 is the trigeminal, and number 6 is the abducens. Let's see, we are looking at olfactory nerve, oculomotor nerve, right, trochlear nerve and abducens nerve. We have skipped the trigeminal and we have skipped the optic nerve. Okay, so don't be confused here. Now, according to our theoretical explanation, we will just go that step by step basis, right? It is always synchronized, as you know. Whatever I explain is always synchronized, right? So first of all, let's look at the smell. So how are we going to test the smell? For smell, we are going to check two types of smell. For pungent smell or kind of irritating a bit. Actually, we should not use irritating smell, but this is a kind of not pleasant smell, you can say. It's not irritating, but it's non-pleasant smell. Okay. So for that, we are going to use Asafoetida, which is hing. As you guys can see here, right? So we have a subject here. So we will ask the patient. For example, in a clinical scenario, we will have a patient, right? So let's start with this. We'll ask the patient to close one nostril first, right? And we'll ask the person to smell. Okay? Yeah. Can you smell?
Yes.
आपको सुगंध आ रही है?
Yes.
Yes. तो उनको लेफ्ट नोस्ट्रिल्स में सुगंध आ रही है, ठीक है? Now we will check the other one. Okay, please close your left one. Okay. Are you able to smell?
Yes.
Okay. So as you guys can see, this was not a pleasant smell. So his face reaction won't be good, right? So his olfactory sensation or the sense of smell is intact, right? Now let's test it with a pleasant smell. Now this is agarbatti stick, right? As you guys know, and it is a kind of fragrance. So let's ask the patient to smell this. If we can check if the pleasant smell sensation is present, right? Please close your one nostril. So the patient can smell this. One nostril is intact. Now other one. Please smell. Can you smell? Yes. So in both nostrils, right, the olfactory epithelium is intact and the olfactory nerve is intact, sending the sensations to the brain, right? So unpleasant smell and pleasant smell, both sensation is present. Now next, what is next? Next we will go to the cranial nerves, cranial nerve 3rd, 4th and 6th. Let's start with the inspection. Now in inspection, okay, for example, in a clinical scenario we have a patient and you are going to test these 3 cranial nerves. So how will you start? I have mentioned before, we start with inspection. Okay, you look at the patient. When you are looking at the patient, do you see any ptosis? Right? There is no ptosis. The patient is very normal. The patient is very relaxed. Right? There is no drooping of eyelids. Drooping of eyelids is ptosis. Right? His eye is both normal in size bilaterally. Right? Eyelids are drawn up properly. Okay? There is no ptosis. Second is squint. Okay? As you can see, for example, if I ask him to look here, please look here. Right? His movements are equal on both sides. Right? There is no squint. Okay? Next is nystagmus. There is no nystagmus present here also. There is no jerky movements of the eyeball. Okay? So the inspection is done. Next is ocular movements. Now how are you going to test the ocular movements? We'll ask the patient to look here at the tip of the pen, right? At the tip of the pen, okay? And so please look here. We are going to form a H, okay? So please follow, right? Okay, so as you guys can see, the whole H is done, right? But the patient was perfectly following the tip of the pen, right? There was no lagging at any position. So from this you can say the ocular movements in all the direction or all the gazes are intact. Okay. Now, so we are done with smell, we are done with inspection, right? And we are done with ocular movements. Now let's look at the see, size and shape of the pupil is already seen, because once you inspect the patient you can already see the size and shape of the pupil in the inspection itself. Let's go to the pupillary reflex. Okay, in pupillary reflex we are going to test each pupil one by one. So what we are going to ask the patient to cover the one eye, right? So while the patient, for example, is covering the right eye, we'll ask the patient to look in a different direction. Please look here. Okay. So we are going to flash the torch in the eye of the patient and see if the pupils are constricting. Okay. Please take note how I am flashing the torch. This technique is important. Okay. Yes. Okay. The reaction or the reflex is intact here. These pupils are constricting in presence of light. So that is the left eye. Now let's look at the right eye. Please cover left eye. Please look there. Yes. Yes. Okay. So in both eye, pupillary reflex is present or it is intact. Okay. So this was the direct light reflex. Why we are saying direct? Because we are directly flashing the light in one eye and we are directly observing in the same eye itself. Okay. So it is direct light reflex. Now let's look at consensual or indirect. Why we say indirect? Because we are going to flash light in one eye, but we will also notice the reaction in the other eye. Okay. So what we are going to do now, we will ask the patient to create a boundary in between. Please put your hand like this. Okay. Now we are going to flash the light in one eye, but observation should be for both eyes, especially for the contralateral side. Okay. So same technique again. Okay, now when I am flashing the pupil light here on the pupil, the next pupil is also constricting. Okay, we don't have a good technology to show you like proper pupil constriction, but as I am seeing, for example, like if I flash the torch here, both pupils are constricting to light. Okay, you do the same for other eye also. Please look this side. Same pattern as we did this side. You flash the torch, constriction, constriction. Okay, let's take again. Constriction, constriction. Okay. So this indirect or consensual light reflex is also intact. Remember how we did this consensual light reflex? Do you guys remember this? That was due to pretectal nucleus. Because pretectal nucleus is connected to both Edinger-Westover nucleus of both sides. Okay, it will send signals to both eyes. That's why through oculomotor nerve there will be pupillary constriction through constrictor muscles of pupil. Right? That's why this pupillary consensual light reflex happens. That's mainly due to pretectal nucleus. Okay, so this is it. Please read more from your physiology textbook about this. Right? In a clinical scenario, when you will go in internship, these are the basic tests you will perform. These four, especially these three cranial nerves, are connected to each other. Right? Their functions are also almost. They happen in conjunction together, so study them together. And cranial nerve 1 is olfactory is very easy anyways. Okay. Thank you.